Will AI take over the world? By the end of March, our family had gotten tired of being tied down in cold Illinois. So we decided to take a trip to Pensacola Beach in Florida to enjoy the sun a little bit. We took the necessary precautions for COVID and drove there all the way. Our Airbnb cottage was in a quiet part of town. On Sunday, my three teenagers and their cousin went out to the ocean. Suddenly, they got pulled in by rip currents, which is a swirl that drags you out into sea. My three boys were able to get out, but realizing that their cousin was still stuck, one of my brave sons went back to help him. But then he got stuck too. Meanwhile, me and the other boy's dad were scrambling to get a hold of a lifeguard through 911. By sheer luck, we spotted one lifeguard driving his truck back and we started waving desperately. He noticed us and rushed towards us. Kelly, the lifeguard, jumped in and rescued the boys in 20 seconds flat. Later, when I spoke to my son Ash, he said that he thought he had only 30 seconds left to live, after which he'd be dragged into the ocean. Those are hard words for any dad to hear. He came so close to death right in front of my eyes. This incident triggered me to reprioritize many aspects of my life. In my last video, I shared how, as a parent, it's difficult for us to let go of our kids so that they can pursue their own dreams. This incident reinforced that notion of letting go. After all, if I did not have the son to bring back home, what difference would it make if I forced him to pursue a career in artificial intelligence? AI may be my frame of reference, but nobody knows what the future holds. Have you heard the phrase starving artist? Who thought they could make money? But now NFTs are shifting that paradigm. I should let go so my son can study chemistry, which he so much loves. The incident also got me thinking about the future of AI and how our children's lives will be affected by it. I'd like to share some thoughts with you so you might be able to put your children's future in context. I thank the stars for their rescue in the form of a human lifeguard because I would not have trusted an artificially intelligent system to do the same. Everywhere, we seem to come across the idea that AI will take over the world, especially propagated through movies. Many of the supposedly AI experts, or even those on the fringes, claim that AI's intelligence will surpass that of humans, a point called singularity, anywhere between 10 and 100 years out. It is true that machines have huge computing power, and there is no theoretical limit on the space such power is constrained by, unlike the human brain, which has to fit within the cranium. But here's where I'm a skeptic. I too have been through a couple of AI winters, and humans tend to overestimate the speed of progress, even though we claim that we are moving from a linear path to a nonlinear one. The smartest AI is built on neural networks, which use deep learning to understand the world. The model for the neural network is based on the interconnection of neurons in the human brain. We figured that if we can structurally replicate the human brain, then we could get similar cognitive abilities like humans. To some extent, that's been correct, but there's a long way to go. Initial computers used a programming paradigm to create logical machines using if-then kind of statements. Then we moved to a data-driven paradigm where we feed the machines lots of data and expect it to learn patterns. Many such data-driven experiments have been wildly successful in the areas of speech recognition, computer vision, and even self-driving cars. But we still can't get a machine to recognize a dog like a child would. We have to feed it thousands of dog pictures for it to learn to recognize dogs. That's because they only recognize the structure of the dog and not the meaning of a dog, unlike humans. While machines are able to recognize patterns, they do not understand the meaning. To enable similar cognitive abilities of humans, they not only have to understand meaning, but they also have to progress into the realms of feeling. This means that we should use AI for what it is best suited for, pattern analysis, and then have the humans interpret those patterns and build upon the next higher level cognitive abilities. While AI will definitely automate many jobs, there will be many more problems that only humans can address collectively for a long time to come. The brain is much more complex than what we model with neural networks. In addition to using electrical impulses, the brain also uses chemicals to regulate body function and response. We have just touched the surface of understanding how the brain really works. It has taken computer scientists more than 80 years to simply move from a basic computer to one that understands data. And in 1955, some of the smartest minds in computer science thought that they could figure out AI over the course of a summer project. We have at least two major roadblocks to cross if machines were to become as intelligent as humans. One is that they have to understand meaning, and two is they have to get a sense of feeling. Even then, we have not achieved the full cognitive abilities of the brain. And who knows, the current path of deep learning artificial neural networks that we are on might not even be the right one for us to get us there, as Geoffrey Hinton, one of the foremost experts on deep learning, pointed out. It's difficult to predict the future, other than making some educated guesses. A doctor can't predict if the world will be free of disease in the future. An astronomer can't predict if we'll ever know the end of the universe. An economist can't predict the future of the world of money. In the same way, an AI scientist can't predict what technology will bring with any degree of certainty. As my sons go out into the future, as do your children, I believe that one of the best things that they could do to flourish in that future is to understand their own environment and be able to adapt to the changes that it'll bring. That is also the main concept of my book, AI and You: How to Think, Transform, and Thrive in an AI Future. Back to our family vacation, we'll be ever grateful to the Pensacola Beach human lifeguards. I doodle on topics centered around AI and people. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and like my videos because it helps me a lot. For a one-page visual summary of this video, sign up on my website. Thank you deeply for giving me the motivation to do what I do.